Hi, welcome to another video of the Target Individual Experience, the Target Individual Program. So, let's see. So, I went to pick up my kids from school, and I realized that uh, I was being microwaved. I was under heavy remote neural monitoring. When I got to Ethan's school, and I got to the gate to go into the schoolyard. I saw again that they were using kids. I saw again that they were using kids. So they were microwaving the kids to target me. And the phone just rang. Now, earlier on today, I did two videos. As I was about to start each video, my phone rang at the exact moment. And it was Pamela that was calling. So my phone just rang, and who was that again? That's Pamela. So they're using mind control technology, microwave, okay, to now influence others to target me in a very peculiar way. And also that, but when I got back in the house, actually, let me go back. So I went to pick up my daughter, and they started with the psychological threat that they were going to shoot me. And so I got my daughter, left the school. As we were walking, this woman, it's a perp, came across the street wearing a green sweater. And again, you can see the synchronization. I can see the synchronization. So as she walks across the street, she looked at another young gentleman that was walking. He was wearing all black again. He sees me, takes out his phone. Woman in the green sweater, looked at me, and then passing by, against synchronization, is a police vehicle. Except it was NYPD traffic vehicle. Then a block over, it was a very short block, a police cruiser passes by. Everything happening at the exact same moment. And at that point, I realized that, okay, I'm under heavy remote neural monitoring, and my kids are too. Okay, so at this point, I was like, all right, because I kind of noticed something. Because when Ethan came out to school, I talked in my video how before how when I used to go out, females would approach me uh, with they holding a white paper in their hand, and then I also talk about the super when he was talking to me. Took out a white piece of paper in his pocket, showed it to me, and then put it in his jacket pocket. So I knew something was up. So got in the building, and the super was there waiting for me. Now this is the third or fourth time that I've seen him. When I came back this morning from taking the kids to school and dropping Pam to work, he was walking on the street. When I was leaving, when Pam called me to say that she forgot the machine at home, and I took it to where she wanted me to take it to, the super was downstairs. When I came back, okay, and I got parking, the super was in the building again. So then, when I went to pick up the kids, come back with the kids, he was downstairs waiting for me again. Okay, and I could tell he was waiting because he was just literally standing there again, like zombified. So we got in the building, and he's talking about amplifiers. Okay, but he's not really talking about amplifiers. I got the feeling that either they were using him to send me subliminal message, either trying to bribe me or extort money from me. All right, I don't know either way, because this program, they do try to extort money from you, or they will bribe you into silence. If they can't silence you anyway, they will use money. And it's a big reason why a lot of these perps participate in this is because, you know, they bribe them with money. They give them money, right? Or some sort of monetary gift, good paying job, what have you, you know, all sorts of stuff. So the conversation, he's talking about some guy from Trinidad, you know, who bought an amp, and it's a very small amp, and this amp outputs 8,500 watts. Okay, and he's like a very skinny. He's like, this is like this small, and I'm like, okay. Now I know a thing or two about amplifiers, and amplifier like that's going to push out 8,500 watts. I didn't know this. Okay, so at least not continuously. Anyway, so as I was heading to the elevator and I was talking to him, he did this. Okay, so again, which leads me to believe that they were using him again to relay some sort of message, either he trying to buy my silence or trying to extort money from me and want me to be quiet about it. Okay, so got in the elevator, pressed the 6th floor, and I got out of the elevator, and Ethan was like, "Dad, this is the wrong floor." I'm like, "What floor is this?" Okay, it was the 3rd floor. Now, not kidding. Today, every time I took the elevator, right, and by myself, no one there, the elevator would stop at the 4th floor, whether I'm going down or going up. The elevator would stop at the 4th floor, and nobody would be there. Now, I didn't press the 4th floor, but when I first talking to the super, we took the elevator up. Elevator stopped at the 3rd floor. Again, there was nobody at the elevator on that floor. So anyway, got in the house and my head starts feeling very woozy, and so I know later I will be getting the headaches. Okay, and so when I came upstairs and I said to myself, I have to do a video. Immediately after I said that, the police sirens started going off. So I knew, okay, yeah, now I'm on the heavy remote neural monitoring from the microchip that was implanted. Okay, so, all right. Now, the second video I did today, I talked about how, again, I was having, when the super was talking to me after I came upstairs from dropping the kids and Pam to work, the super was in the lobby waiting for me. Okay, this is when he had the white piece of paper. He took it out of his pocket and put it in his shirt pocket. Again, this is them showing me what they're capable of and what their capabilities are. Okay, so now the super knows that I take my kids to school every morning. I'm sure he sees me in the morning taking my kids to school, because most time I do see him in the morning when I'm taking the kids to school. Okay, so he knows that. So when I came back in, I remember again, because I got parking from the guy who was had the black Altima, to where they paused my video because they didn't want me to record that interaction and what they were doing. So they literally hack into my phone and pause the video so that I won't record it. All right. And I was thinking that, hey, I'm recording. So after everything was done, after the street theater was done, and I get ready to get out of the car, I pressed the stop button on my phone, thinking that, my phone was recording, and when I pressed the stop button, it stopped recording. Okay, but that wasn't the case. And you saw through the previous video to where it kind of like stopped, and then another thing, the ending video where it stopped, like I'm pausing, and then it just started back again with me getting out of the car walking. Okay, and they've done this before, and I think I've have videos showing exactly what they've done. Okay, so anyway, got in the building, and I want you to listen to the conversation. I don't want to play the video because the way how it looked, I don't want anybody to think that they're being targeted. Okay, so I'm just gonna play the audio and listen to what he says, and then I'm gonna go back to a previous video, and I'm gonna show you. Actually, not go back to a previous video, but forward to the video after this, to where he's talking about, to where I'm actually driving by a particular place, and I'll show you. So. Yep. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. So that's me shaking my keys, because when I walked into the building and I saw him standing there, I knew that they were using him to target me. So I was shaking my keys because that's something that they do. And let me just refresh you on the reason why I'm shaking my keys. So very early on in my targeting, my son's mother, Bryce, my older son, basically conspire with these people, the architect of this program, those within the police force or the FBI, who have you, to have me arrested because I was taking her to court for custody of my son, because she had to send him out of the country without my permission. And I was told that that is indeed was kidnapping, right? So to prevent her from doing stuff like that again, I took her to family court to get joint custody. Not custody, but joint custody. And so, again, I did not know any of the stuff was happening to me and what's going on. So these people were working behind the scenes, manipulating me, manipulating her. Probably went to her and said, hey, we can guarantee that he doesn't get joint custody if you let us do this, you participate in this, and this is what we're going to do. So after, you kept using my son, every time I would tell her, hey, I'm coming to see my son, she would be like, okay, and I would go there, and she wouldn't be there. Not to go into her apartment, but, to take my son for the weekend. She wouldn't be there. After we agreed that I was going to come and pick him up, she would disappear. All right? So after weekends of that happening, you get frustrated as a father, as a parent. And I went to talk to her one night because I was like very angry. So she called the cops, got arrested. The cops wrote that I assaulted her, I did all of this, blah blah blah, stalking, all this stuff. Okay, now if I assaulted this woman, mind you, she never even opened up her door. But she immediately called the cops because she knew what she was doing, and they knew what they were doing, but I didn't. Okay, so they after I got arrested, then I woke up the next morning and my arm I felt a stinging sensation, and when I looked down, I had a needle mark in my arm. Right, and then after going in front of the judge, and the judge didn't give me bail. He let me off on my own reconnaissance. And again, if I had done the things that they have written that I've done, and the judge had the paper, so the judge was probably in on it also. Okay, so again, there was a long list of stuff. Okay, but yet they didn't consider me a danger. So anyway, going to family court and going to criminal court for the issue at hand. Every time I would go there, the court officers would walk by me, grab their keys, and start shaking it. And this is every time, multiple times during the day that I was there. There are times when I had to take off work for the entire day, because when I get there, they would call my case, and let's say they call my case in family court, I'm talking about. Let's say they call my case at 11, and I had to wait for paperwork. I wouldn't get the paperwork until like 4 hours later. So 4 hours later, I would be waiting for my paperwork, and the court officers will walk back and forth, grabbing their keys, shaking it. So, and that, again, it's conditioning. Okay, so I didn't realize that. So then, after the court thing was over, I got a visitation, stuff like that. Then civilians who were wearing their keys on their belt loop or on a keychain, and they had like a whole bunch of keys, will walk down the street, and when they see me, they will hold their keys and start shaking it. So I'm doing what they're doing to the super. I mean, to me, what they had done to me to the super, because he knows exactly what that means. Okay. So anyway, that's where you hear the keys jingling. So let me go back. All right, and watch what he says about the kids that go to school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm not sure if you can't hear the volume, so let me just put the video in because I'm not hearing anything here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so here he says, so he's Jamaican, so he's like the kids them gone to school, meaning that the kids went to school. Of course, he knows this, right? And I didn't even know that my phone was recording because, like I said, when I got out, before I got out of the car, I pressed the stop button to stop recording, not realizing that they had already paused the video. Okay, now I didn't hit the on pause button. I hit the stop button, but kept, my phone started recording, which it shouldn't have. But I'm glad it did because to be able to explain this, you guys need to hear this. So, again, this is initially after getting parking before Pam called me to go back out, right? To get her, to get the device to go back out. So, now let's get to the other video. Okay, where are we here? Okay, so went upstairs. Pam called me. I said to her, "I'll bring the device." She told me where, and I'm like, "Okay, fine." So I'm just gonna skip past all this stuff. Let me make sure this is the. Okay, this might not be the right video. Okay, here, let's go. This full time. Okay, let's see. So this here. Okay, here we go. All right.
You got
So-
a glimpse, but it's not even.
On the way to the address where I had to go to drop off the device, right? So I remember I took Second Avenue, and this is Second Avenue, and I think this is Seventh. No, I'm sorry. This is Second Street and 7th Avenue, and there's a school right here. Okay, so they knew beforehand that this is the route that I would take, right? That's why he mentioned about the kids going to school. Now, like I said, he sees me every day taking the kids to school, so he knows the kids in school. But this is what they like to do. Okay, so when I drive past the school, having remembered the conversation that we had, okay, again, this is classic coercive persuasion. Classic coercive persuasion. Okay? And classic psychological manipulation. So, again, drove by the school, right? Now, like I said, after I got back and again, and I didn't mention this before, but again, using the homeless theme. Okay, so this homeless man pushing a cart. So he had a car honk because again, this is what they do, right? So the homeless theme, as I mentioned it, they honk their horn, or they'll, the police with the sirens. Again, trying to say if I continue to do the video, continue to talk, I'll be homeless, and that's one of the classic theme when it comes to the coercive persuasion program. Okay, so they go, like I say, show you the school and everything. So this is what I'm talking about. So when I went to pick up Ethan today and Alyssa today, the kids in their school started targeting me. Okay, primarily the children in the school. Yeah, not so much the adults. The adults, yeah, they were too, but it was very blatant, and I mean very, very blatant. So I was like, okay, wow, So anyway, that's what they do, you know. So because I keep doing these videos, they want me to be quiet. I won't. They are going to, up the ante tenfold because, you know, they can't shut me up. Okay, so they will use every trick, every method in their book to try to shut me up. And again, I just want people to know and understand what's being done. And so, the use of directed energy microwave weapon to manipulate someone without their knowledge, without their consent, because a lot of the manipulation is geared to us as TIs in a concentrated form. The people who are being manipulated with this technology, when we tell them about it, they don't want to believe us. Okay? And so this is something that they do. This is something that they've planned. And again, I talk about establishing control over a person, social environment, time, resources. I think I've explained all that stuff. I think I've shown you how they do it. Okay? And again, the use of coercive psychological threats. Okay? And, trying to find the part where it says about the use of the homeless theme. Okay? Let's see here. And again, I said the word homeless and you hear the sirens. So this is what they're doing. Okay? This is what they are doing. And, they may think or say to themselves, well, we have a reason to do this. What reason would you have to do this? Okay? If you think you're okay or have a reason to do this, all right, or whatever reason that you feel allows you to do this, then you can say that actually I will call you a Nazi because the German believed that they had a reason to exterminate the Jews. Okay, King Leopold of Belgium thought he had a reason to kill and exterminate people in the Congo, black people in the Congo. Germany did it to people in Africa in the late 19th century, the early 19th century, during from World War One up to leading up to World War Two. Okay, I guess they had a reason to do that too, right? So don't come with this bullshit about reason. What reason? You have no reason. You just want to experiment on people, and you think you can get away with it. And you can set people up. You can try to blackmail them into silence, and when they don't, you're gonna go around spreading rumors, try to villainize those individuals. Okay, trying to run your psychological program. You want to tell people out there, it's for the greater good. And they're naive and stupid enough to believe you. So hey, but you will never get me to be quiet about what you're doing to me and others. It will not happen. You can threaten my kids, and they were threatening my kids today. Let me tell you. They were threatening my kids today. All right? But guess what? I'm back with another video. Okay? So, I just don't understand. I really don't. That these people feel that they can do this. These are some very special kind of people, and there are a lot of them around. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of assholes walking up and down. Okay? A lot of sociopaths walking up and down. Okay? A lot of passive aggressive personalities walking up and down. Okay? A lot of sadists walking up and down. All these people are recruited. They are manipulated through mind control weapons as well as propaganda, rumors, the use of their belief system to manipulate and control them, and they can't see it. they cannot see it. They've been conditioned to ignore when someone's trying to tell them the truth. They have been conditioned to ignore it, deny it, look past it, don't see it, because they have them conditioned thinking that their bubble that they live in is a happy place. It's not. You guys can't even see it. You know, I have some of the most, you know, um, poorest people targeting me. Okay? Some of the most religious people targeting me. Okay? Microwave mind control technology is real. Remote neural monitoring, you know, they're experimenting with this. Okay? Through the microchips. That's why they keep pinching their nose. Okay? It is to remind me of where the microchip was inserted through the nasal cavity, the nasal passageway that leads directly to the brain. Okay? Alright, we just want to do the short video. Again, you know, they may try to threaten. You can't bribe me. You can't bribe me into silence. You can't extort money from me. I don't have any money. You want to extort my disability money? Then that goes to show that, again, this is what they're going to use this for. Okay? Just as how the CIA in the 80s, when they needed money to fund a legal war, they brought drugs into the black communities. Okay? They're going to use this remote neural monitoring for exactly that. Okay? So imagine they want to rob a bank. They can insert a microchip into the bank owner, bank manager, get access to the bank codes, the people's information, and to rob them. And they're not going to take $100 out of each person's account. They're going to take $1. So imagine them taking $1 out of 100 million people's account. And $1, people are not going to miss that. Okay? So imagine that. That's something to think about.